Ray, I love the way the Capitol building in Augusta, Maine rises above the trees here in Capitol Park.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jeff. The columns, the domed roof, it almost looks like a squeezed version of the U.S. Capitol building in D.C. Now, are we here to investigate this building?
No, we're not. We're here to check out a mystery that's inside the park, but it's related to the Capitol building.
Okay, how so?
We're searching for the tomb of Enoch Lincoln, the 6th governor of Maine. He appears to have gone missing. Hi, I'm Jeff Belanger.
And I'm Ray Auger. Welcome to episode 91 of the New England Legends podcast. Now, if you give us about 10 minutes, we'll give you something strange to talk about today.
We will.
And thank you for joining us on our mission to chronicle every legend in New England, 1 week and one story at a time.
And we couldn't do that without the help of our Patreon patrons who are sponsoring this week's episode.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. If you want to become a bigger part of this movement, head over to patreon.com/New England Legends. And for as little as $3 per month,
$3,
just $3, you'll get early access to new episodes plus bonus episodes that no one else gets to hear. And hey, you can also join our super secret Facebook group where the discussion continues day and night. It's a secret. You can find links from our website at ournewenglandlegends.com, where you'll also find our entire show archive absolutely free, plus video clips from the New England Legends television series on Amazon Prime, and dates for my ongoing story tour.
Now, if you don't already subscribe to our podcast, do it because, well, it's free.
And I subscribe.
There you go. And you can subscribe right through your smartphone. It's very easy. You can subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts.
We appreciate our subscribers and when you tell a friend about our show on social media or in person.
All right, Jeff. So Governor Enoch Lincoln of Maine is missing?
He is. Our first task is to find his tomb here in Capitol Park, which
right.
shouldn't be that difficult considering it's the only one.
All right. Well, I do see a white obelisk right over there. Let's check that one out.
All right.
So there's the obelisk. It reads, Lincoln of Portland, Governor of Maine, died October 8th, 1829, age 40.
Right. And there's this short and ornate black wrought iron fence all around the obelisk. And below that, there's a tomb made of white stone, and it's set into the hill just below that central monument. And there's a door on the tomb with a metal clasp and a lock. The whole tomb faces the Capitol building right over there.
All right. So I guess we found Enoch Lincoln, Maine's missing governor. This really wasn't that tough, Jeff. Now, what do we do? Go home?
Well, not exactly. Because the only problem here is that if we did have the key to that lock on the tomb, it wouldn't really matter because Governor Enoch Lincoln is not inside.
Really?
And no one knows where he is.
On December 28, 1788, little Enoch Lincoln was born in Worcester, Massachusetts. He grows to be a creative kid. He loves to read and write, and his parents see to it that he gets a very good education.
An education that will land him at Harvard University.
Ooh, fancy.
I know. And after graduating from Harvard in 1807, Enoch turns to law and politics. He begins practicing law in Salem in 1811 and then serves as a United States District Attorney before moving to Paris, Maine.
But all the while, Enoch Lincoln is also pursuing his other passion, writing. In 1816, Enoch becomes Maine's first poet when he publishes a 2,000-line poem titled The Village. Though the poem is written in rhyming verse, Lincoln uses his words to comment on social reforms such as women's rights and the abolishing of slavery, his views on nature, and all kinds of other subjects related to small-town New England life during his time.
Range after range, sublimely piled on high, you lofty mountains prop the incumbent sky. Such countless tops ascend, so vast the heap, as if when gushed the deluge.
Around this time, Maine is still part of Massachusetts, but that's about to change thanks to the influence of Enoch Lincoln and some of his contemporaries. When Maine achieved statehood in 1820, Enoch serves as one of the first representatives to Congress.
And Enoch's political career is just warming up. He's a pretty charming guy.
Yeah, of course, he's a poet.
Right.
Probably dropping rhymes on all the ladies, right?
The ladies did like Enoch for sure, but none caught his eye. He remained single. Then, in 1827, at 37 years old, he's elected the 6th governor of Maine. The newspapers describe him as, quote, fine, clear eye, pleasant mouth, sanguine complexion, and golden hair.
It sounds like the newspaper reporter is enamored there.
It's safe to say that all of Maine is enamored with Enoch Lincoln. During this time, the governor serves a one-year term, but Mainers elect him again and then again the following year.
These are the earliest days of statehood for Maine, so there's a lot to be done. Enoch was part of the decision to make Augusta Maine's capital. He worked to improve education for all the children of the state because he understands that investments in education pay off big time down the road. And the people of Maine like him enough to even name a town after him, which Enoch approves.
I can't imagine putting up much of a fight if someone wanted to name a town after me, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm totally ready to move to Raytown.
Right? On July 4th, 1829, Governor Enoch Lincoln oversees the ceremony to lay the cornerstone of the brand new Capitol building in Augusta, complete with, quote, imposing Masonic ceremonies, a procession of the governor and council, and the Grand Lodge of Maine being escorted to the site by the Augusta Light Infantry. Governor Enoch makes the address at the ceremony.
Sadly, the governor would never get the chance to see the finished Capitol building because by September, Enoch falls ill. On September 30th, though he's feeling weak, Enoch delivers an address to the students of the Coney Female Academy at Augusta. The following day, he's sent to bed rest, and it's a bed he won't leave again. Not in life, anyway.
Oh.
He speaks to his friends during his illness that he understands this is his end. He has no fear of death. It's simply a part of life. Then, on Tuesday, October 8th, 1829, Governor Enoch Lincoln is dead at the age of 40.
As you said, Jeff, Enoch did not fear death. Even in his most famous poem, The Village, he speaks on death. In his words, he shows us how it's coming for all of us.
The fretful litigant resolves to fit the offending neighbor with a special writ. To feeling dead, in principle a knave, forever craving as the insatiate grave.
After Enoch's passing in 1829, his body is laid to rest on public grounds in the park across the street from Augusta's under-construction Capitol building. In 1842, this more formal crypt and monument are constructed on the same site, so Governor Lincoln can rest in a dignified manner alongside a couple other notable Maine politicians who are also given this tomb of honor. This is where our story should end, but it doesn't.
If we jump ahead to 1903, this tomb is getting a little rough around the edges, so the legislators of Maine set aside a little budget to clean it up and make some repairs to the stones. According to 1903 documents, when the tomb is opened, Governor Lincoln's metal casket is holding up well, but the other two people buried inside, namely a state senator and state representative and house clerk, their caskets are rotting away, so those remains are placed in new caskets. Now, here in 1903, this is also where our story should end, but it doesn't.
All right, we're going to jump ahead now to the 1950s, and once again, this tomb is looking rough thanks to decades of Maine weather and a little bit of neglect.
Sure.
So once again, money is allocated to clean up the tomb and make any necessary repairs. The site is polished up, and it looks good once again. So right here, this point, this is where our story should end, but it doesn't.
Instead, we're going to jump ahead again, this time to 1986. The state of Maine performs an inspection of the tomb to look for signs of weathering and to clean out the beer cans and things like that. But when they open the door to the tomb and to look inside, they notice something strange. The tomb is empty.
Empty?
Empty. There are no caskets and no bodies in the tomb.
One of the strangest parts of this story is that the workers who made this discovery managed to keep it pretty quiet. The story doesn't really blow up until November of 1991, when a writer from the Associated Press gets wind of the news and does some reporting. The article described how Sheila McKenna, a history specialist at the State Library, followed the paper trail to try to find out who removed the bodies and where they would have gone, but she finds nothing.
McKenna's best guess is that during one of the routine inspections or cleanups, some workers removed the caskets and maybe forgot to put them back in again.
Wait. This is sounding like the reason I don't do any mechanical repairs myself.
Okay.
If I took apart my engine or dishwasher, I guarantee you there'd be extra parts sitting around when I'm done putting it back together.
Yeah, we've all been there, right?
Right?
Except, I don't know, the casket seems like a pretty damn important part of the tomb. It would be like removing your entire car engine and then closing the hood and then wondering why your car won't go anywhere.
Right.
And that brings us back to today.
All right, so what? We're looking at body snatchers?
I guess, in a way, but no one ever tries to hold his body for ransom or anything like that. He just seems to vanish.
Talk about a clerical error. I mean, seriously, how could this happen?
Well, that's the mystery, and no one knows. And it's not something Maine likes to talk about. That 1991 Associated Press article, it appeared in newspapers around the world. It's one of those zany news stories that begs the question. I mean, how do you lose the body of a beloved governor from Maine?
Well, not easily, I would imagine.
Right?
Now I kind of feel weird standing here in front of this monument in Capitol Park.
Why is that?
Well, I feel like I'm paying my respects to, well, no one.
It kind of makes you think how symbolic graves are in the first place, though, doesn't it?
Well, how do you mean?
Well, a body isn't a person. The person leaves when the body dies. It becomes inanimate, just like the casket, just like the headstone. I don't know. Maybe we don't need Governor Enoch Lincoln's body in there to remind us that he's still worth remembering.
Listen, we want you to remember to share these stories.
Yeah, please do.
Whether you post links to our episodes on your social media or tell your friends about us or maybe show someone how to subscribe on their phone if they don't already know how. It goes a long way to help support our movement to chronicle every legend in New England.
And we really appreciate when you post reviews of our show on platforms like Apple Podcasts. That really helps others find us.
We'd like to thank Michael Legge for lending his voice acting talents this week, and our theme music is by John Judd.
Until next time, remember, the bizarre is closer than you think.